late 1960s, Sunoco started a long relationship with Roger Penske, and one of the partnership's most iconic race cars was born, the Sunoco Camaro. In 1968, Penske won the Trans Am Championship for Chevrolet and came third at Sebring in the 12-hour race. They repeated success in Trans Am in 1969 and the legend was born. Today, Sunoco is the largest producer of race fuels in the world. The Anglo-American Oil Company was set up 16 years ago by Anders Hildebrand and represents Sunoco directly in the UK and through distributors in Europe and the Middle East, whilst fueling over 22 championships across Europe. Set up 6 years ago, the Sunoco Challenge gives talented European racers the opportunity to showcase their skills in the US. It was the idea between Jim France of NASCAR and Anders to promote the Rolex at 24 and provide a top seat in a Daytona Prototype car. For 2015, the Challenge changed seats and is now supplied by the Whelen Engineering Company and the Anglo-American Oil Company. Points for the Sunoco Whelen Challenge are accrued through eligible Sunoco fueled series throughout the season, and the driver with the highest average points wins the prize drive on the world-famous circuit. Such talent as Felipe Nasr, who won the Challenge back in 2011 and has gone on to drive for Sauber in Formula 1 this year, to our latest winner, Phil Keen. There is no doubt that the Sunoco Whelen Challenge winners are out to impress. In addition to this, Sunoco set up the 200 Challenge 4 years ago to give more racers from additional eligible series the opportunity to race in a 200-mile endurance race on the Friday before the Rolex 24. 2015 Sunoco Whelen Challenge winner Phil Keen had a busy year ahead of winning his prize drive whilst he was competing in the Avon Tyres British GT Championship. That was not eligible for Challenge points in 2014 but will be in 2015. At the wheel of the track speed prepared Porsche, Phil Keen and teammate John Minshaw put in some stellar performances and were right there in the overall British GT Championship standings, with a chance of winning the crown until the very final round at Donington Park in October. Although Phil had led the Sunoco Whelen Challenge standings all season, he still needed a good haul of points at his final championship round at Cadwell Park. And off in qualifying, however, put the Marks Electrical team on the back foot, hastily having to repair the car prior to even the first race of the weekend. But yet again, Phil Keen and Pete Belshaw put in good performances in both of the races. They didn't accumulate enough points though at Cadwell Park to have been guaranteed the prize drive. Phil would have to wait until his closest rival had completed his season. Luckily for Phil, last year's Sunoco Challenge winner Bradley Smith, who had battled with rival Tristan Vidas in the European Radical Masters all season, was on form at the last round of the European Masters at Barcelona. Phil, who was racing in the GT Open at the same circuit, was on hand to keep an eye on his prize. It was a nervous wait for Phil, and there was nothing he could do about it as he climbed on board his GT Open car.
Yeah, so this year we've been doing the Radical European Masters. You know, the Rolex 24 with Whelen was a great experience. Definitely learned quite a lot from it, and you know, quite a lot that applies to these cars. You know, lots of power and quite a heavy car as well. So yeah, it was a great experience. You know, still keeping contact with the guys, and you know, keeping in check with what they're doing as well. So yeah, all going really well so far.
Okay, and you also competed in the NASCAR Euro Series at Brands Hatch earlier this year. How was that?
Yeah, that was all right. That was interesting. Whelen provided us with the opportunity to race the European NASCAR Series, and yeah, you know, it was good couple of races. A little bit tougher racing than anything else, but you know, on the whole, they've got a good little package there, and you know, I'm sure that series will succeed.
Bradley went on to win in Barcelona and secure the Radical European Masters Championship, which meant that Tristan Vidas ultimately failed to gain enough points in his race. Phil Keen was announced as the 2015 Sunoco Whelen Challenge winner.
Phil, winner of the Sunoco Whelen Challenge and also the GTS class in the GT Open first race. How does it feel?
Yeah, great. I mean, great start to the weekend. Couldn't ask for any more, really. So yeah, really pleased.
You started the first. You started on pole in your class, but then you lost a couple of places in the first corner. What happened there?
Oh, they're just they're fighting for a championship. So I thought, best just to get out of the way, really. And it's our first race, so I just wanted to bring it home, really.
But Sean did a fantastic job, didn't he, when he took over?
Yes, he did. Drove really well and chuffed a bit.
Excellent, well done.
Thank you, cheers.
So after securing the prize drive, the next stop for Phil Keane was to go out testing at Daytona in December, where he was given the opportunity to drive the Action Express car with the team who will run the Whelen number 31 car at the Rolex 24 in Daytona. At a sunny but empty track, Phil was able to meet with teammates Eric Curran and Max Papis and was able to clamber on board the sister number 5 Action Express car for the first time to showcase his talents on the circuit. The Whelen brand is synonymous with motorsport. Let's take a closer look.
One of the coolest things about racing a Chevrolet Corvette is it's American made. And everything at Whelen Engineering is American made. And Whelen Engineering, the company, the leaders in the industry, emergency lighting, police car lighting, fire truck lighting, ambulance, tow truck, you name it. They got lights on it, flashing lights, anything to do with emergency, Whelen Engineering probably made it. They're so proud to have all American workers. They got one plant in Connecticut, one plant in New Hampshire to tie in with a Chevrolet Corvette straight from Detroit. Everything to do with Whelen Engineering is all done in the USA. Connecticut, New Hampshire, it's amazing.
Well, Sonny Whelan, it's great to see that you're supporting the Sunoco Whelen Challenge. Bradley Smith was the winner last year. We've got Phil Keane this year. What do you think to the talent that wins those challenges?
Well, I'll tell you, Bradley was amazing. He was a lot of fun and a great kid, and certainly drove very well. We finished 10th in a very difficult race with some garage stops and managed to come out on top there. So, very, very pleased with the quality of drivers he's been bringing to us, and that's why I was really happy to have a more long-standing relationship with the Whelen Sunoco Challenge.
And our winner, Phil Keane, this year, I know much of the Action Express team have been very impressed with him. Your thoughts on Phil?
Oh, he just stepped in the car and went fast, so seems to have his head on straight, and he's going to keep it out of trouble, and I think we'll do very well today.
Whelen, a name that's synonymous with motorsport. You're so heavily involved across the globe.
Well, we try to be. I mean, that's our plan. We're here to sell light bars and lighting devices and sirens, so you're helping us do that, and that's why we appreciate this association very much.
I think the amazing thing from a business perspective, it adds value to both of your brands.
Absolutely it does. I mean, we talk about the Sunoco Whelen Challenge all the time. The racers know about the Sunoco Whelen Challenge. Now we need to sort of create the business gearing of what we're doing, and I think we can do that. We're both very excited about what we're doing, so yeah, I think we're in for a good one.
Excited about what you're doing and more to come in the future as well?
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be a great association. Look forward to all the things we're going to be doing in the future.
Sunoco 200 Challenge winner Oscar Kruger will be driving in the Mitcham Motorsports Sunoco liveried Camaro at Daytona, after also winning his prize drive whilst competing in a Radical series. Oscar needed maximum points at Cadwell Park in the Radical Clubman's Cup to seal his win in the Sunoco 200 Challenge, and after a great start in one of the races from the outside of the front row of the grid, everything was very much going to plan for the Swedish youngster. Having propelled his Radical PR6 into the lead of the race, Oscar needed those maximum points, which unfortunately, over the course of the weekend, he was not able to manage. So Toby Sowery, who was racing in F3 Cup, was still in the running for the challenge title. However, as Sowery didn't turn up for his last race, Oscar Kruger won the challenge after leading for over half of the season.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I need to get out of the way for the champagne. Thanks a lot, Alistair. We'll bring you the grid for our final race.
Oscar, who grew up in karting, now helps out at his father's workshop in his native Sweden. And as they prepared for the race, Oscar needed to get down to some practice ahead of his prize drive in the BMW Performance 200 at the Rolex 24 at Daytona race weekend. Having raced the Radical PR6, he needed to get used to the H-pattern gearbox and needed to learn to heel and toe as well. But the excitement is yet to come. Don't go away, because there's more in part 2 as our drivers get to walk the track with some of the most experienced drivers at the Rolex 24 at Daytona, and of course they'll get the first opportunity to sample the circuit at the Roar Before the 24, the official 3-day test. They may well have won the Sunoco Whelen Challenge and the Sunoco 200 Challenge respectively, but there are a lot more challenges ahead over the course of the next few days. There are new cars to learn, there's a new circuit to learn, and there are new teams to introduce themselves to. It's a steep learning curve. Our challenge winners are more than up to it.